Ace count into double figures.
Being a ball boy or ball girl in professional sports tournaments is not a big deal. It's actually a very, very, very big deal. If you think they just randomly pick up neighborhood kids to manage the balls in important televised events such as Wimbledon, you are terribly mistaken. It wouldn't be an easy job, and just like us, they make mistakes. So today we're looking at some of the funniest moments involving ball boys and girls which were caught on camera. But before that, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Number 20. A ball boy serving tennis balls to Nicolas Almagro at the Barcelona Open tripped over a mat and slammed his face straight into the hard wall. Ouch! The impact made such a loud noise that the people in the bleachers could not help but stare at the sweet boy in pity. Luckily, it took a while before Almagro himself identified where the loud bang came from. And when he finally turned around to look at what happened, the boy had already recovered his bearings and was just standing there like nothing happened. He was still obviously in pain, but he showcased impressive professionalism. What a kid! Number 19. A young man who was managing balls and mopping floors at an NBA game in Los Angeles could not keep his head down when Fergie started singing at halftime. You'd think Fergie stole the show, but I bet she didn't see it coming that the show would get stolen by someone else. The body-rolling mop guy completely let loose and enjoyed Fergie's music right there in the middle of the hard court. After a few minutes, he went back to mopping the floor, still to the beat of the music. What a legend! Number 18. A Birmingham City ball boy slipped and tripped over the loose soccer ball he was running after. This was during a match between Bristol City and the Blues. Unfortunately for the poor lad, all eyes were on the ball at that exact moment because it was coming off of a missed goal. Although it must have been wildly humiliating, the crowd was a good sport and they all started cheering for the awkward young man after he still managed to kick the ball back into the playing area after he fell down and got back up. Number 17. A Landry Fields buzzer beater from across the court went horribly wrong when it entirely missed the basket but found the face of a mop boy. I mean, he was just trying to score a Hail Mary for the Raptors, but what a misfortune. If they were giving extra points for headshots in basketball, this would have given him the win. But the mop boy could only shake his head and continue mopping. I guess you can't really do much in those situations, can you? Number 16. A Los Angeles Dodgers ball boy risked his life and limb to go after this foul ball. And really, who can blame him when one of the most exciting things that can happen to a ball boy in baseball is to be able to catch a foul? He must have been so focused on the ball that he didn't notice how close he was to the edge of the barriers. So, when he made that momentous leap, he fumbled over the fence and fell on his side. Even though he came up empty-handed, fans in the stands and on Twitter applauded the guy and his serious effort in his job. Number 15. Now, here's a British Royal Guard in training. Watch how this ball boy shrugs off a facial hit he got from no less than Florian Mayer in the Australian Open. It was a rogue receive on the part of the world champ, which came flying straight to the side stands but was intercepted by the tall ball boy standing there. He kept his poker face all throughout, even though it was pretty obvious how much that hurt. Mayer himself gestured a thumbs up with this look of incredible worry on his face to make sure the boy was okay before returning to the game. Number 14. Most of these bloopers are accidents or unfortunate mistakes, but here we have a ball boy who's really gone rogue. Patrice Evra had a pretty hilarious spat with this Real Madrid ball boy who refused to give him the ball back. Evra was keen to retrieve the loose ball as quickly as possible when it went out of bounds, but the mischievous ball boy wanted his minute of fame and just refused to give it back to the former Manchester United defender. You can see how enraged this made him. Number 13. There are way more ball boys than there are ball girls in the world of sports, but that doesn't mean ball girls do not have their fair share of hilarious moments as well. Just take this girl, for instance, who just can't stop staring at Rafael Nadal's every single move. I feel like all girls Rafa comes into contact with just stare, but it's funny to actually see a trained ball girl openly staring at him. Sadly, all she could do was look, since ball boys and girls are actually not allowed to talk to the athletes. Number 12. Here's another funny moment involving a tennis ball boy. During Novak Djokovic's US Open match with Roberto Bautista Agut, a super fast ball was hit out of bounds. But before it could hit anybody, this ball boy snagged it by just extending one hand, much to the delight of the audience. Surely he has to be the coolest ball boy ever, as if he shrugs it off to say, "Hey, you're welcome, it's no big deal." Number 11. One golden rule that's probably taught in day one of ball boy practice is not to interfere with a ball that's still in play. But during a very important game between Kansas City and the Boston Red Sox, this ball girl misjudged the situation and made a stop on a ball that's very much still in play. She realized it way too late that she ended up giving Eric Hosmer a double. That's a lesson learned for this ball girl not to interfere with the game again. At number 10, we have one of the most popular pranks ever played on an athlete. Cristiano Ronaldo jogged up to this ball boy to retrieve a ball that had gone out of bounds. At first, the boy looked so kind, holding out the ball for Ronaldo to reach, but at the last moment he decided to be cold and chucked the ball farther away from the kicker. Lucky for him, Ronaldo wasn't having a particularly bad day and was able to appreciate the funny prank. He just laughed it off, and of course, the ball boy was punished accordingly. According to reports, he was actually fired from his job. But, man, he was able to prank Ronaldo. I mean, I dare say it's worth it. Number 9. Getting hit in the face or in the head by a tennis ball is painful enough, but getting hit between the legs by a Feliciano Lopez serve is a whole new level of excruciating. Talking about silver linings though, I know I'd be glad to have endured this pain and lived to tell the tale. Even though this ball boy kept a straight face, he had to be switched out with another one later on. Number 8. There is one game in tennis history that everyone remembers, not because of its jaw-dropping plays or because of its super long rallies, but because of one ball boy's show-stealing antics. Right in the middle of a rally, people on one side of the stadium started applauding and cheering. The rest of the crowd was confused at first, until the camera refocused and it was revealed that the ball boy had been juggling behind his back. Poor lad must have been bored by such an eventful game that he decided to put on his own show. Needless to say, everyone was entertained. Number 7. This ball boy broke everybody's heart when he had to be replaced just because he couldn't hold the umbrella right. Props to Benoit Page though, who took the time to teach him how to prop the huge thing up, but his hands were too small. Unfortunately, it was really hot, and the tennis player could collapse if he didn't get enough shade, so the little ball boy had to be replaced. Number 6. Jeremy Chardy was having a hard time shaking off this gigantic bug during his match against Rafael Nadal back in 2015. It would have been so easy to just crush the bug with his racket, but Chardy was making a real effort just to scare it away. Even Rafa was being patient about it all, until the ball boy took matters into his own hands and just crushed the bug nonchalantly. Both Nadal and Chardy were in disbelief, but the boy just shrugged, as if to say, "You gotta do what you gotta do. The show must go on."
That ball boy's just lost his street cred.
Number 5. One ball girl threw a loose tennis ball to where Andy Murray was sitting during a game break. Not only did the ball knock out the water bottle from Murray's hand, it also hit his nerve. He was visibly appalled by what happened, but the young ball girl decided to make up for it by writing Murray a sweet note after the game, letting him know that it was totally unintended. Number 4. One particularly eager ball boy almost got seriously hurt trying to make himself available for a resting Maria Sharapova. Maria took a much-needed rest in between an intense game, and the boy immediately knew he should open up an umbrella to shield her from the impossible heat. But in his rush, the ball boy tipped behind the tennis star and almost hit his face hard. Luckily, he was able to recover and provide the umbrella shade he was desperate to give. Now we go to our top 3 most memorable ball boy moments in sports ever. How can anyone forget the time when Novak Djokovic decided to switch places with his ball boy? The unassuming lad was just holding up the umbrella over the tennis star's head when Djokovic suddenly called for him and asked the young man to sit beside him. As if that wasn't awesome enough for the ball boy, he even offered him a drink and held the umbrella for both of them. The look on the ball boy's face was priceless. It was a hilarious and surreal moment that we know the ball boy will treasure forever. Our second most hilarious ball boy moment involves this particularly observant boy who can't help but stare at Bethany Matek's stance. Bethany was simply trying to do what she does best. And just like the Rafa situation, this ball boy couldn't stop staring. Bethany was surely flattered, but unfortunately, the boy is a little too young for her. And finally, we've come to our number 1 spot of the funniest moment in ball boy history. Alexander Zverev was so excited about this point that he just had to pull up a deep fist pump to celebrate. Incidentally, he looked like he was getting ready to punch someone, and this ball boy flinched in fear that it might land on his face. He cowered and tried to protect himself from an attack that will never come because, again, Zverev was just celebrating his point. Oh, poor boy. Take a look at how real the terror is on his face. Priceless! And with that, we wrap up the list. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Sometimes you can't help but have a laugh at ball boys and ball girls. At the end of the day, they're just doing their job, but thankfully, they're good sports and understand it's all a little fun. So, as you can see throughout this video, sports can be one of the most entertaining things to watch. Whether we like the actual sports that's on, or we're just looking for something to pass time, it's the best way to do so. Sports are available to all ages and genders, and thankfully now we have more access than ever to watch some of the best moments and highlights. Make sure to stay active and enjoy your favorite sporting moments. Thanks for watching.